Hi guys, welcome back to Style with Substance and welcome to another book review. If you are new here, my name is Nadreen and I do videos on all things style, fashion, beauty and the law of attraction, marketing and a bunch of other stuff in between. So thank you for clicking onto this video. Hopefully you won't regret that decision. I'm just going to get straight into a review of this book by Tony Robbins called Awaken the Giant Within. If you like the sound of that and you want to find out my thoughts on this book and whether or not I think you should get it, then please keep watching. I came across Tony Robbins via some motivational stuff that I might have been watching. I just found his style of talking to people, it's very hard-hitting, it's very impactful, and it just caught me. And it wasn't until earlier this year that I thought, oh, let me see what books he's published in the space, because I think he's such a great speaker. And not just a great speaker, but a great connector with people. So I bought 3 books. So I bought this one, which is Awaken the Giant Within. I bought Unlimited Power and I bought Money Master the Game. Now I tried to start Money Master the Game and I got relatively far into it, but then I kind of realised that I'm the kind of person that needs to read for what my experience is at that point in time. So at that point in time, I can't really say that money was a huge focus. I think that I just needed a book that very much spoke to what I was going through at that point in time. And that is why I think this read was really, really well timed. I think if you are looking for a strategy in terms of reading and picking up more books, for me what works is picking up a book that is relevant to what you're going through and that can help you through that. So what I'm going to do is read the blurb on the back, give you guys the synopsis that comes with the book, and then give you guys my thoughts on it. And I'm also going to talk about some of the chapters and just tell you which ones I really enjoyed. So at the back it says, are you in charge of your life or are you being swept away by things that are seemingly out of your control? In Awaken the Giant Within, Tony Robbins, the best-selling author of Unlimited Power, which is the other book that I purchased, shows the reader how to take immediate control of their mental, emotional and financial destiny. But you obviously clicked in to hear my thoughts on it, and I am going to take you through that. First of all, the title is something that really stood out to me. When I was looking at this on my bookshelf, I felt like this is the time to read it in my life. I think the words are used very carefully. It's Awaken the Giant Within. And the reason why that stood out to me so much is because a lot of the time we go through life on autopilot. Like half of us probably go through life asleep and we're just doing and doing and doing because that's just what you do. And it takes certain moments to wake us up and make us realise that we're here not just to survive, you know, we're here to thrive and to live and to be enriched and to enrich others. And I think the word awaken is a really powerful way of bringing that message home to us. And then it talks about the giant, and I think within all of us, and it doesn't matter how meek or mild you might think you are, take it from me, somebody who has been shy for the majority of their lives, that we all have a giant within us. And as much as that might not be visible on a surface level, or that might not be immediately apparent to people who meet you, or even to you yourself, what you have inside of you is an untapped power and an untapped potential that is so remarkable that if you only ever took the time to dig deep inside of yourself and draw that out of you, you would be amazed. It took a few conversations with some people for me to realise that that giant within me, whatever form that takes, has been waiting to be resurfaced, essentially. And then within. And you know, I don't think that necessarily just refers to the giant within, but I think for me that is all about everything that we want to change in our lives, or everything that we want to achieve, everything that we want to be is right here. Like it's within you. You already have the skills and the power to make change in your life. You just have to look within yourself. Some of the chapters, just to get straight into that cover that really changed me. And that's what I loved about this book, is that it's long. It's 500 plus pages. But when I was into it, it didn't feel like work. It didn't feel like it was that long. It almost just felt like I was going through a journey with it. So one of the biggest chapters is around decisions, and decisions being the pathway to power, and how if you want to change your life in an instant, right then and there, in a moment, you just make a decision. And the decision is the starting point of all change, because without making that decision, we're just kind of straddling the fence. I am somebody who makes lots of decisions very quickly, and I'm learning to make considered decisions as an adult. But I think the point he's trying to make in the book is that a lot of us let things be decided for us, and that is why we get the same results day in, day out, because we're not making a stand by making a decision, essentially. And that chapter was a really good one, even for somebody like me who is a bit of a decision addict. So part 1 is all about unleashing your power. It provides a lot of tools and a lot of techniques and a lot of things that you can go out and practice in your day-to-day life to start really getting to grips with how much control we do actually have over our lives and our behaviours. Part 2 is just about taking control, and he calls this the master system. So he sets out systems which help you to take control of your life even more so. So those being your values, your rules, your references, so the things that make up who we think we are, and ultimately how to change those to impact who we want to be and move towards that ideal. So he talks about values and gets you to basically list what your true values are in life. So whether that's things like passion or security or adventure, he gets you to list those out. And then he really gets you to question whether or not those are really your values, or whether or not those are just the values that have been placed on you by life experience, society, upbringing. And then he gets you to really think about the values that the kind of person you want to be would have, and also to think about values that might conflict with each other, because what you might find is you might have a value like you look for adventure, but you also look for security. The two don't really work together, but he gets you to think about your values and then frame that in a way that will help you to move towards your ideal. And if some of the things that you value are not conducive to being the person that you want to become and awakening the giant within, then this is when you really start to think, why do I value those things? And you just start to question everything. One thing I really liked was how he talked about rules in relationships, and how one of the main breakdowns of relationships is because things happen in a relationship, and the two people in that relationship, whether it's a friendship, marriage, siblings, they don't discuss or communicate what their rules are. And so when a scenario plays itself out, everyone is reacting based on what their rules are without understanding the other person's reaction, which is based on their rules. So that was a really good chapter. The other thing that was the chapter on questions, and it's actually called Questions Are the Answer. You have to stop and think, are you asking the right question? And I think we can all ask very surface level questions of ourselves, but those aren't often the questions that are going to lead us to the answer that we're really looking for. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, you're battling with your weight in general, whether it's gaining or losing, whatever it is. What we might often ask ourselves is, why can't I lose weight? Or why am I the size that I am and I'm not happy in my own skin? And what we probably don't ask ourselves are all of the follow-up questions that should then lead to the answer to that question. So we don't ask ourselves, do I want to lose weight? Am I really happy in my own skin? Am I unhappy because other people tell me I shouldn't be unhappy at this size? When have I been the happiest? What size have I been then? And I think that this can be applied in every area of our life. Some of the greatest minds in history just had the knack of asking the best questions, like, can this be done? How can it be done? I think we don't question ourselves enough. We probably don't have a lot of time to question ourselves enough, but it's something that we need to make time to do. The quality of your questions will determine the quality of your answers, and therefore the quality of your life. And then he talks about identity, which hands down my favourite chapter of the whole book, because it gets you to really write down and encapsulate who you think you are as a person. Like, who are you? If you were to describe you, if if he also uses the example of if your name was in the dictionary, what would be the description next to it? And I really like that. And I like that because it made me understand what I already think of myself. Like, it's very rare that we often ask ourselves questions. Who are we? Like, maybe we do, but we never really detail that and put it down on paper, which this chapter forces you to do. And it forces you to identify yourself now and start to think about whether that is the role that you're playing or the person that you're portraying, or whether and whether that is the role or the person that you want to be. And that chapter really just wrapped everything up nicely, because everything that you kind of pick up and go through earlier on in the book leads you to that point. So I think at that stage, I think he's looking for the reader to either identify themselves as somebody who they would want to be, or identify themselves as who they are now, acknowledge their flaws, and use that as a path to move on. So really, really constructive. But if you're really looking to come out of yourself, step into your true self, and be the remarkable being that you've always known you could be, then this is a book that should be on your reading list. I am definitely going to make a stab at reading some of his other books, because I think I just needed the right book at the right time. But now that I've read one, I know that I can go on to read more. So what I'm going to get you guys to do for me is to help me decide what my next read should be. They're both books that I've read at least some of, but I want to reread. The first book is Mastery by Robert Greene, and the next book is Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. So 2 books. You guys vote down below if you've read them, and let me know which one you think would be good for me to kind of follow on from this book. And yeah, if you have any thoughts, or if you want to ask me any questions, always comment down below. I will link this book in the description box in case you want to go and pick it up from Amazon. And what I'll also link is my latest blog post, which is extremely long overdue. I think it was about 7 months since my last post, so I'm so sorry. But I just wanted, I've always said with my blog that I've wanted it to be something that's authentic, something where I only write if it's coming from the heart, and that is absolutely what the latest post is. It talks about how to get through tough times and the art of healing. And I think that at a time where everybody is expected to be very cheerful and in a festive mood, a lot of people aren't really addressing the fact that, you know, this time of year is actually quite a sad time of year for a lot of people. So I will have linked that in the description box below. Please do go and check that out, whether you're healing or not. I think it could be something great to share with other people. And I will also have linked my Law of Attraction Hacks book in the description box in case you guys want to purchase it on Amazon. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. More book reviews coming, I promise you. As always, it's going to be style, it's going to be substance, and everything in between. So until then, take care of yourselves. I hope you were having a good lead up to the festive period, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.